Cool. All right. Again, this is another one that is a little bit more nuanced in understanding, but I had a question come across about the Excel template, if ingestion and any updates to it. So if you don't know, we have an Excel ingest template that you can bring in releases on, and tracks and all sorts of fun stuff. But what you can do is when you go to your Excel ingest, you can click new ingest, you can generate a template, or you can choose a file to upload. So I'm just going to quickly generate a template. We're going to do a super fast overview. If you are really interested in learning more about the template, I would absolutely recommend you schedule a time with me. My email is christian.cooley, Cooley, at openplay.co. Send me an email. Let's set up a training, because generally I recommend about an hour to an hour and a half to go through the template, some of the nuances, how to best use it, what it looks like when there are errors, what it looks like when there is a success, what to look for when you're reading through the errors, different stuff like that. So again, I'm going to recommend, please feel free to reach out. If you really want to learn about this and use this tool, please let me know and we will schedule a training. So here is what the template looks like. I'm going to expand this. It seemingly, when you start to look at it, it is a little bit overwhelming. I will absolutely admit that and give that to you, but it's actually very simple. All of these represent different fields in OpenPlay, and in each section of a release. So you have your albums tab, a tracks tab, works, projects, artists, publishers, so on and so forth. So each of these has a corresponding section. Now, everything can be created, an album or a track or a work can be created separately to live apart and be brought in with zero associations, or you can take advantage of these few tabs over here called map track to album, map work to track, and map publisher to work. You use these IDs that are in the beginning of each section. So in this case, we're in the albums tab and there's an albums ID. You use this ID to create an ID that is mappable, so that you can add a track ID to an album ID. You can match those up here, add a disc number and a track numbers for that specific album, and you can match those up. Similarly, works with tracks, publishers with works, and some of their affiliations. We have our primary contributors, right, for each album and track, our secondary contributors for albums, tracks, and then our work contributors and publishers is back up here, as we saw earlier. So you can bring in literally almost every, I think outside of three fields at the moment, all the metadata you could ever need for an album by using this tool. The only thing you will have to do is when you go and upload the album or tracks, you will have to add the distribution intent on the distribution tab, as well as your assets, so your cover art, your audio files. Once that has been complete, then in theory, if you added all of the stuff here, you would actually be able to validate that release and have a successful validation. So there are some nuances to this, and one of the main ones is that it is looking for text-specific formatted cells. So if they are general, when you paste something in, oftentimes it will go to a general format. These all need to be text, except for a few specific ones. That being said, I have a document that I'm going to link in the chat that goes over some of the information of some of the nuance of the template. It's not going to cover everything, just because some of it has to be experienced and understood, but there are some of those things where it's looking for a text format field here that are important. Another thing to really note that's important is above every field name, here's album ID, title, configuration, there is a little explainer up here. And for configuration, it says the configuration of this release must exactly match a value in OpenPlay. This is very important. So if you just write album here and you're looking for a digital album and for it to import as a digital album, it will not import correctly. In fact, you will get an error, and there is the possibility that this would be stuck in pending, because what happens is the loader is trying to read this, this erroneous field set over and over and over again and can't quite read it. So this would need to be, if you have one of these that says must exactly match a value in OpenPlay, make sure in OpenPlay that you know what configuration you're looking for, and then you would put in, digital album, or for some environments, e-album audio, or whatever it might be in your environment. Make sure that you're exactly matching what it is in OpenPlay. Another one that's a great example is artist type, name format, parental advisory. If you just put NA, that will not work because it is looking for a specific non-applicable like that. So just keep that in mind as you are using this tool, that there are very specific field sets that it is looking for in some cases. That being said, I have dropped this link in the tab, or in the chat. You should be able to see this Excel ingest tooltips document there. This is super helpful. It's got 2 pages and some explainers of what to do. So again, if you really want to get into using this, feel free to try it on your own. More than happy for you to do so, but feel free to reach out to me at christian.cooley@openplay.co, and I am happy to schedule a training with you and walk you through it.